Hi everybody and welcome to Teen Tuesday. This week we are making Pom-Pom pumpkins. To make Pom-Pom pumpkins, all you need is yarn, scissors, and a stick. Optionally, you may want to grab a book or two, depending on how big you want to make your pumpkins. I've made two examples here so you can see how big a pumpkin you make using just one little ball of yarn and 4 balls of yarn. I'm going to show you how to make both of those, and then you can figure out how to make medium-sized pumpkins using 2 or 3 balls of yarn if you'd like to make a couple of different sizes. So, let me show you how it's done. First, to make the small pumpkin, select 1 ball of yarn and cut off a piece about 1 foot to 1.5 feet long. Take this piece and run it between your middle finger and your ring finger and fold the ends over so that they meet near your wrist. Now take the rest of the ball of yarn and begin wrapping it around your hand over and over and over again until you run out of yarn. Now that you've wrapped all of the yarn around your fingers, find the original strand that you'd tucked between your fingers and bring it out so you can tie it off. Carefully slide the wrapped yarn off of your fingers, don't lose the loops that you've made, and tie a knot as tight as you can to hold the yarn together. Then flip it over and repeat, pulling your knot as tight as possible so that you hold the yarn together and it's not all going to fall out of your pom-pom when you're done. So make sure you tie that extra secure and then flip it over and do it 1 more knot just to be safe, and we're good. Now, grab your scissors and cut open all of the loops of yarn. Make sure you go back and try and get every single loop. Congratulations, you have now made a pom-pom! Woo-woo! Alright, now you may notice some pieces sticking out kind of far compared to the others. Go ahead and give it a haircut, trim it up until it is as ragged or as smooth as you would like your pom-pom to be. There, that's pretty good. Once you've got it trimmed down to the texture you like, grab your stick, shove your finger in the middle of your pom-pom, and then put the stick right in that space. And you've got a pom-pom pumpkin. Now for the larger pumpkin, using 4 balls of yarn, go ahead and grab a book off your shelf that you can use as the sort of holder while you're wrapping yarn. Cut off a piece of yarn, again about 1 foot to 1.5 feet long, something that'll be long enough to tie around the yarn loops when we're done. And then tuck it into your book about halfway in. Then take the rest of the yarn and we're going to start wrapping. Depending on how you would like the yarn or the pumpkin to look when you're done, you're either going to wrap them one color at a time so that you have sort of patches of color, or you can wrap them multiple yarns at a time. I'll show you both ways. First, I'm going to start by wrapping 1 color of yarn and then 1 more color of yarn. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you wrap multiple yarns at the same time. When you've finished wrapping your yarn, all of the yarn around, go ahead and go back to the ends of your book and find that original string that we'd wrapped through there, or that we tucked in there. And we're going to bring it to the edge, or the open end of the book. And give it a loose tie to hold the yarn together while we take the yarn off the book. Now, carefully slide the yarn off the book. You should have one giant, lots of loops all together that are tied together on one side. Now, here it's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to just sort of squash that big old bunch of loops so that our string is across the middle like this. Flip it over, and we're going to start tying our knots to secure the pom-pom in place. So pull it as tight as you can, give it a double knot, flip it over, double knot it again, and then once more at least, so that you have a pretty secure pom-pom. Once you've got it tied securely, it's time to cut open the loops. As I cut them open, you'll see that there are big sort of pockets of green and blue because I wrapped those colors independently. And then there's sections of mixed pink and yellow. So now you can see what it looks like when you wrap single colors versus multiple colors at the same time. All right, so it looks like we cut all the loops open. Now it's time to give it a trim. Trim off those extra pieces that are sticking out really far, or, just cut it down until it's the right texture for you. It's kind of fun to give a pom-pom a haircut. There, so now you can see there's a big blue section and a big green section, and then the rest of it is that mix of pink and yellow. So depending on how you would like your pumpkin to look when you're done, either wrap it in one color at a time and have large patches, or grab multiple strands at the same time and wrap them together to get that sort of mixed color. Once you've trimmed it down the way you'd like, decide where you want to stick the stem out of it. Put your finger down in there, make a hole, and just shove that stick inside. And now you've got a large pom-pom pumpkin. Pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in to Teen Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed making your pom-pom pumpkins. And now that you know how, I hope you have fun making them as often as you'd like. See you next time.